Throughout the year, the legacy media has basically run with the Democrats' election prox. All right, let's start that over. Welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to have you with us. Be sure and utilize our toolkit, our election toolkit. It'll give you everything you need at your fingertips to cast an informed ballot, and it's something you can share with family and friends. Just text the word toolkit to 67742. That's toolkit to 67742. That's one word. All right, throughout the year, the legacy media has run cover for Democrats' election prospects by claiming that crime is trending down after a historic surge continued following the summer of 2020 riots. Now, we saw that play out just last month in the presidential debate between former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris.
Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
Excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
Well, guess what? This week, the FBI quietly updated its 2022 crime data to show an increase in violent crimes. Violent crime actually did not drop, as they claimed, by 2.1%. Actually, it rose by an additional 4.5%. Now that, according to the experts, is a historic rise in terms of an adjustment. Never before has there been that significant of adjustment in the numbers. Is it a problem with doing the math or telling the truth? Joining me now to discuss this, Dr. John Lott, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center. During the Trump administration, he served as the senior advisor for research and statistics in the Office of Justice Programs and then the Office of Legal Policy in the U.S. Department of Justice. John, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
So there's a consistent White House legacy media narrative that the Biden-Harris administration has lowered crime. They ran with some numbers, now adjusted those numbers, but really aren't telling anybody about what appears to be quite a significant adjustment in the numbers.
Right. I mean, these numbers came out last month in September. Unfortunately, if you read the press release, there was no mention of the change for 2022. If you read the report itself, there was just a footnote that vaguely indicated that there had been an update to the 2022 numbers, but no explanation about the size of the change or even if it was a change in direction or why the change was made. But, you know, the important thing is that there are two types of numbers for crime. There's crimes reported to police, and that's what the FBI measures. And then there's total crimes, and that's what the Bureau of Justice Statistics measures. And if my guess is most people care about anything, they care about total crimes, not just what gets reported to police. And during the Biden administration, another report came out last month from the Bureau of Justice Statistics showing that total violent crime, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault had increased by 55% during the Biden administration after falling by 15% under Trump. And, you know, that's historically the largest 3-year change that we've had since the Bureau of Justice Statistics started collecting data on that. The media, though, has wanted to focus solely on the FBI data. They keep on calling it crime data when it should just be referred to as reported crimes. And the reason why I think that they've wanted to focus only on that and give like no coverage in the mainstream media to the Bureau of Justice Statistics report that came out last month is that it fits their narrative that it was falling. The irony is that for the last year, they've been using the 2022 data, which showed a 2.1% drop. And now it's clear that the FBI numbers showed an increase, but you're not seeing anybody going back and saying, oops, you know, all those news stories that we've been having there were wrong.
But John, even with the media carrying that false narrative, it didn't appear that the American people were buying it because they've seen that increase in crime that you made reference to that's historic.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, you look at surveys. In March this year, Gallup did a survey on what issues were most important to people in the election. Crime and violence was number 2. Obviously, that also fits in with the immigration issue that's there. But beyond that, you have surveys from Gallup to Rasmussen that show that large majorities of Americans believe that violent crime has been increasing. But look, if you live in many urban areas in the United States, whether it be Los Angeles or Chicago or DC or New York, you go to a CVS or Walgreens and you see almost everything's behind plexiglass now. If you want to go and buy something, a sales clerk has to come over, unlock it, and then stand next to you while you read the different ingredients on the packages, trying to decide what it is you want to go and buy. People know that that wasn't the case a few years ago. You know, in many parts of this country, if you call up 911, they'll ask you if the criminal is there committing the crime. And if the criminal's already left, what they'll tell you is, well, you can come down to the police station and wait in line, and we'll then fill out a police report. You know, you make it more difficult, more time consuming for people to go and file police reports, and fewer people are going to do so. And it's one of many reasons why referencing the FBI reported crime data is not going to give you a very accurate measure of what's happening with total crime.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. John, we're out of time, but I appreciate you joining us and providing greater insight into these numbers. Always good to see you.
Well, thank you. People can find more at our website at crimeresearch.org, crimeresearch.org.